My fellow 12s, welcome into this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Big decisions will be made across the nation today as it is NFL trade deadline day. Coming up on today's program, we'll get you the latest buzz surrounding your Seattle Seahawks on some potential moves. Will they be buyers? Will they be sellers? Who could they be looking at? Who could they be moving on from? We'll discuss it all coming up in just a matter of moments. Later on this afternoon, we'll be live right here on Seahawks Today for our trade deadline coverage. We'll get started sometime between 11:30 and noon Pacific time, so stay tuned for that. I'll be here. Big Tex will be here. And help us get to 59,500 subscribers on the channel, folks. We are just less than 500 away from reaching that next milestone. If there's any trade, we are going to bring you a video here on the channel in addition to all of our daily Seahawks coverage, our news and rumors, our live shows that we do on Wednesdays, our watch parties on game days. It's all right here on Seattle Seahawks Today. Sub it up, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Subscribe now. You'd be glad you did. So the question becomes, will the Seahawks make another move? They already made a big splash within the last couple of weeks, adding Ernest Jones IV from the Tennessee Titans. And that is a move that was certainly earth-shattering to bring in a player of that caliber and move on from a player in Jerome Baker, who the Seahawks just a few months ago seemed pretty high in. And what we've seen the last couple of weeks already out of Ernest Jones, still learning this Seahawks defense, he's already had a monumental impact, and that trade already appears to be paying off. I would expect Ernest Jones to be getting a contract extension and to stick around with this Seahawks team for a long time. He and Terrell Dodson seem to be the core of this Seahawks linebacker unit. They're in good shape there. But will they continue? Will they do more before the trade deadline? That's the next question that becomes of this Seahawks team. There's some obvious needs. We'll talk about those in just a bit. But will they do something? We'll find out here in the next couple of hours. Bottom line for the Seattle Seahawks at this point in time. I know they've lost two straight. I know they have a losing record at 4-5 at this point, but you can't be sellers. The Seahawks have invested too much to take two steps backward at this point in time. I believe that where this Seahawks team is at right now, you have to continue to go all in at this point in time. The division is wide open right now with the Cardinals, Niners, Rams, and Seahawks all right there amongst each other. Nobody's separated themselves just yet. You still have a shot to win the division. You still have a shot to make a wild card spot. You have to continue what you've started at this point in time. I think you can't be selling. It would be a disservice to this team if you already sold out and said, yeah, we're giving up, we're throwing in the towel. Not to mention, too, when you think about this, folks, all right, the Seahawks at 4 wins, at 4-5 right now, there are teams that are in a lot worse shape than the Seattle Seahawks are at this point in time. And so with that said, if you decide to throw in the towel now and tank, all of a sudden, it's not like things are going to get great when it comes to draft position either. So you're kind of in the middle. Do we want to compete or do we want to just hang in the towel? And I think you're much closer to competing at a playoff spot than you are at the bottom. So you can't be selling. You got to continue what you started. The team needs for the Seahawks at the trade deadline right now, the right tackle position obviously is the biggest one. George Fant came back this past week in a limited role. We should see more of him. Abraham Lucas, we're hoping to see of more in the coming weeks. But until we see those guys at full strength, that is going to continue to be a question mark for this Seahawks team. The guard position is a big question mark for Seattle right now. Laken Tomlinson has not looked good for the most part this season. Anthony Bradford has not played well. Christian Haynes has been figuring things out, but he's still got a long ways to go. The guard position has been a liability for Seattle. The nose tackle spot for the Seahawks. Seattle has not liked what they've seen from Jonathan Hankins. And there's been rumblings for the last couple of weeks that the Seahawks could look for other options to upgrade from Jonathan Hankins. And you have some promising players on the defensive front. When you talk about Byron Murphy and the growth that he's made, Jaron Reed, Leonard Williams, among others here, you could still use some depth at that position considering that Jonathan Hankins hasn't played that great. The safety spot has become a need for Seattle with the injury to Rayshawn Jenkins. Granted, we've seen Kobe Bryant step up, and he's done a pretty decent job in the last couple of weeks with Rayshon Jenkins out, but there still needs to be somebody to fill the old role of Kobe Bryant and to give this defense flexibility to run those 3 safety looks. The corner position, also a question mark for Seattle as well. We've seen Trey Brown get banged up. Josh Jobe has stepped into that role. Mike Macdonald has said he really likes Josh Jobe and is going to let him compete with Trey Brown for that spot. But in actuality, we haven't seen either player play at that high of a level just yet. So you might be looking for other starting corner options at the trade deadline. Will the Seahawks make another trade before the deadline this afternoon? Weigh in the comment section. Let us know why for yes, in for no, if you think the Seahawks will make another trade or not. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time has got you covered. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. Then you choose your seat, see if you like that seat or not, get the visual with their seat views, and then you're checking out with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Game Time's got a great thing that they offer, folks. It's called their super deals. If you see a super deal, that is a deal you don't want to pass up on, folks. And get this, we got a great offer that we have just for our Seahawks Today viewers, folks. You can save $20 off your first purchase when you use the promo code ChatSports at checkout. Terms apply, first purchase only. Promo code ChatSports for $20 off. Download Game Time today. The prices go down the closer it gets to kickoff. So if you need to make a last-minute decision, Game Time's got you covered there. Download Game Time today. $20 off with the promo code ChatSports. Terms apply. First purchase only. What time is it? Game Time. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. So right now, the Seahawks have about $9 million in cap space. So what that says is 2 things. If the Seahawks are going to make a move, it is likely not going to be for a player that is making a ton of money right now. Think about like rookie contract type guys on that front. The other thing is that because of that $9 million that they have in cap space, if they were to take on a big-name player that is due a lot of money, they would need said team they're trading with to probably take on some of that contract. And that kind of complicates things when it comes to making a trade. The name I would watch out for potentially for a deal for Seattle today is New England Patriots corner Jonathan Jones. It's no secret the Patriots have been shopping him for a while. He's got a lot of experience at both outside corner and nickel corner at the safety spot. A veteran player. He could fit in this Seahawks defense. They could find a role for him, and he would be an upgrade from Josh Jobe and Trey Brown, I can tell you that much, and be a guy that could start immediately at that outside corner spot for the Seahawks. I think Jonathan Jones is a name to keep an eye on. Also want to make this point as well. We mentioned this yesterday at a YouTube short on DK Metcalf. For those of you out here that have been calling for DK to be traded, and I see it about every damn day in the comments section, and I'm just dang tired of it, to be honest with you. He's not going anywhere. Adam Schefter said so yesterday when he was on the Pat McAfee show that the Seahawks are not shopping DK Metcalf. They're not taking any calls. They're not interested in moving on from DK whatsoever. This idea of him reuniting with Russ in Pittsburgh, that's just not even on the table right now, and nor should it be on the table. I think the Seahawks need to extend DK. They need to keep him here for a long time. He's a cornerstone piece for this Seahawks team, and we have seen the last couple of weeks how different this passing attack is without DK Metcalf, that he is vital to the success of this Seahawks offense. They cannot move on from DK. Not to mention, the time has already come and gone of when you could have gotten rid of DK Metcalf and got something good with a return on investment. Now we've seen these wide receivers like Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, and others get traded for the equivalent of a third-round pick at this point. If you traded DK a couple years ago, you could have gotten a first-round pick. Can't do that anymore. It's not worth it to be trading DK. He's not going anywhere. Who's a player the Seahawks should trade for? Jonathan Jones was the name we mentioned. Obviously, there's some others out there. Weigh in the comments section. Let us know what you think. Appreciate you joining us here on this edition of Seahawks Today. For continuing Seahawks coverage, subscribe now for the latest happenings of your favorite team. We will see you later on this afternoon for our live trade deadline coverage right here on the channel, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you later on.